Well, hopefully despite this cold weather, you found some time to get back to the driving range and get your game in some sort of shape for the start of the season. I'm hoping also that from last week you've picked up on the points I made about the importance of balance. And if you've tried to implement some of those drills that we talked about last week, hopefully now you're starting to see some more control over your body and yourself. So during your golf swing you've got that little bit more control over what you're doing. What I'd like to do now is move on to the next stage, and let's focus a little bit more on the control you have over the club. This is a bit that's obviously going to influence the type of shot and the consistency of that shot that you're about to hit. And this week I'd like to focus mainly on how you control the face of the club. This is the bit that at the end of the day tells the ball where it goes and how it gets there. Now I'm not going to preach to you about the importance of the perfect grip, because I think time has shown that good players have got very, very good, right to the top of their game, without the technically perfect grip. So whether your grip's a little on the strong side or a little on the weak side, I'm not going to tell you to change that. Obviously, the more neutral you can get your grip, the easier it is to control that club face and to get the type of consistency that we're looking for. But I want you to work with what you have at the moment. But what I'd like to talk to you this week more about is how you control the club face and the journey it makes through the ball. And it's something that I feel that a lot of people don't really fully understand. What I see a lot of in the swing is that they have a concept that the club must go straight back from the ball. This tends to lead to a swing that lifts up, but more importantly that club face is a little bit too hooded or closed. But more importantly than that, their idea that through the ball, the club face has to, one, face the target, but two, follow that line of the target, so the club face is always looking towards the flag. Now, whilst it is imperative that you get the club face square to the ball at impact, the journey it makes away and then through the ball is very different to the one I've just described there. And I want to talk you through that just now. So again, forget that you maybe don't have the perfect grip. If your club face is aligned square to the target at the start, what you're really trying to see is that the face of the club, as it moves away from the ball, it opens relative to the direction you're trying to hit. So at this point here, this waist height position, the club face is actually facing away from you. It's facing the wall in this case. So as the club moves, it has more of a semicircular movement away. The arms start to rotate, the forearms and the hands start to rotate, and we get the toe of the club pointing more into the air. Then on the return journey, we have to then allow those arms to turn back, and that's what brings the club face back straight to the ball. Once we've made contact, yes, the club face is perfectly square, but beyond the contact, the club face then turns back over using the forearms and the hands, and now we get the complete mirror image position on the other side, where the arms have turned over, the right hand is now on top, in this case is a right-hander, and the toe of the club is back up into the air. Now let me just show you that more clearly. I've got a club here with an arrow on it. So, think of this. At address, the toe is out, facing the camera. As we swing the club back, you have to feel that you've made the toe of the club point up into the air. So again, we move the arms on the club, we rotate, the toe of the club is pointing up into the air, continue to the top. On the way down, the toe is still pointing into the air. Your job is to roll the arms, the hands and the club face back so the toe points out to the camera. Beyond, the arms roll over and the toe points again back up into the air. So remember that. When you swing, think of the toe of the club, the journey it makes. Toe up, toe out, and toe up again. That will soon get you understanding and feeling the correct movement that the club face needs to make through impact. And again, test that out at the driving range, maybe with a 6 or 7 iron, nothing too difficult to hit. And think of the journey of the club face, little sort of half swing movements, toe up, toe out to toe up. Play around with it. Don't try and hit a full shot every time, but try and make some movements and just understand how the club face can influence the direction. If you over-rotate the arms too early, the ball will hook a little bit more. If you under-rotate them too little, or you do it too late, the ball will go out to the right. So think of it in this way. If you're a slicer and you continually slice, the club face is open as you strike the ball. So what I want you to think about is very much that toe and the right arm rolling a little bit earlier to get the toe back up on the other side. That way you're going to get the club face to turn over sooner to square itself off and take that slice spin off. But if you're a hooker, the opposite's happening. Your club face is coming in a little bit close. So think of it the opposite way. Think of trying to get that toe up on the backswing, but what you're trying to do is basically feel as though you can hold the toe so it points out to the camera a little bit longer before the hands will flip over to normally create that hook shot. So as long as you understand the journey that the club face needs to make back and through the shot, you'll have more idea of how you're going to actually get the straight one at the end of the day. So regardless of your grip, toe up, toe out, toe up. Work on that little half swing, work on how you shape the shot with a club face, and then you'll fully understand how you're going to get that straighter, more consistent shot. So take that to the range, add it to the balance that we had last week, and you'll start to see a lot more consistency in your shots.